Peace. There we go. All right. Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? Make sure this mic ain't too loud. Because need to get another mic. Peace, peace.
Hello?
Peace, bro. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Man, good. Good to see you, brother. Peace.
You too.
Alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How's everything with you?
Oh, man, everything is good. Everything is blessed.
That's good.
Right to it. What was we talking about? You said
who is Allah?
Yeah, who is Allah? You were saying that Allah created the human being, but Allah is not a human being.
Correct.
That's according to the Quran.
Correct.
Right. Where would you? I mean, you can start it, or you want me to start, or because I got a couple of questions.
I can start it.
Yeah,
I can start it. Now, Allah is described in the Quran, which is the source of the concept of Allah, as Al-Khaliq, the creator, Al-Badi, the originator. So he's described in many ways as the creator, as the sculptor, as the originator, as the beginning, and as the end. No beginning, no end. So if this is the understanding of what Allah is, and the Quran is the source of the concept of Allah, how can we have anything that goes against that and say that that's also a valid source? Because you have to establish what is a valid source that defines something. So let's say this is an apple. What makes it an apple? Because of X, Y, and Z. So we have established with knowledge, with facts, and predetermined information that this object is an apple, or a car, or a book, or a cell phone. So if we're able to establish with information and knowledge of what is what and what is who and who is what, then we go off of that. Now, if we're debating on what or who is Allah, what is the source of that knowledge that describes Allah, that has the concept of Allah, that is going to explain what Allah is? Because if it's just based on our wills and desires, then anything could be Allah. Because you don't agree with me, I don't agree with you, so I can make my own Allah. I can say Allah is human, Allah is an animal, Allah is this, Allah is that. So it goes in a circle. So we can't even agree on how to define a concept. So if you can't define a concept, there's no point in arguing or debating a concept.
Unless you're arguing and debating things that are actually said in the Quran, right?
If there's an interpretation that you have, the interpretation must be backed on.
Not an interpretation. I'm just saying if we point to words that the Quran actually says, you would agree that it says that, right?
If it's the source of this concept, then correct. Then the Quran is that source that defines what is what. Correct.
Right. So does the Quran ever say Allah is not a man?
Allah is no beginning.
No, listen. Listen to the specific question. You're trying to make an interpretation now. Listen to the question and just answer the specific question as it's asked. Does the Quran say anywhere that Allah is not a man?
In many ways, yes, he does. Yes, it does in the Quran.
Does the Quran say Allah has hands?
If you're a Salafi, you interpret that. Yes. Hold on. I'm explaining that.
I answer the question and then give your explanation.
Okay.
Does the Quran say Allah has two hands?
It says hands.
Does it say? It doesn't say two hands.
It says hands.
No. So yes or no? Yes or no? Does the Quran say Allah has two hands?
Where? I don't see two hands. I see hands.
You're getting defensive. I asked you a specific question.
According to
your knowledge.
Okay.
Because obviously your knowledge is limited in this question, right? According to your knowledge, does the Quran say Allah has two hands?
It doesn't say two hands.
So the Quran does not say that I created Adam with both my hands. Both means two, right?
Where in the Quran says that he has created Adam with both of his hands? Where?
Hold on.
The chapter and verse.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna do that. You know, I'm not gonna come out here without. I thought you were just the scholar that was gonna agree with me, but hold on.
No, I don't.
All right, hold on.
And once you do that, I'm going to also, after you say your piece, I'm going to say my piece on the Surah to Ikhlas, or chapter 112. If I'm correct, yeah, it's 112. But go ahead.
Hold on a second. I think it's chapter 22. Dang, hold on a second. Oh man, hold on. Let me get off of this screen and pull it to where I can see you and this.
All right.
Don't go nowhere, y'all. Don't go nowhere. Hold on a second. Somebody else, if you know it, you can definitely post it in the chat for me right quick. And I'm getting all these pop-ups. And one more time with his two hands. Islam. Okay, it's 3875. Let's see, 3875.
All right.
And y'all pardon me for this delay, because I should have had my book out. So I said 3875, right?
Right.
So that's side, yeah. 3875. So if you go to Islam Awakened, right? Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. So it's pardon me. So that's in with it does say with both his hands, but then it's another part. Hold on. I'll come
Okay.
back to that. That verse don't say it, but it's another part where he's talking about the I don't want to say this wrong. The Uish people, the Israeli people. He's arguing, with them according to the Quran, and it says, they're mocking the prophet, saying that, his hand is tied up, and then the Quran says, both his hands are spread out. Does the Quran say that?
What is the exact chapter and verse? Because I want to read it.
Okay, well, I'll get that to you too. I thought you
Okay.
would be up on
No,
this.
no. I know what you're talking about, but I want you to read it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
Because
definitely
again,
read it.
you're trying to prove a point.
Oh no,
I'm
I
trying
got
to
you.
refute a point.
Everybody go to islamawakened.com. Put this in y'all's bookmark. islamawakened.com. It's a website with the top 57 Quranic Arabic Islamic scholars and translators of Quranic Arabic into English. So this is not the Nation of Islam's interpretation. This is the Orthodox Muslim world, Sunni and Sufi and Shia, all the top scholars of Quranic Arabic translators. So this is what they translated to say. So they're greater Quranic Islamic scholars than me and you, right?
Yeah.
So hold on one second. 564. I think that's 564. Let's see. I don't want to bore y'all. Next time I'll be more prepared. I thought my brother's gonna be confirming what I'm saying. 564. So if you go to Islam Awakened, I don't want to say this, but the ooze say his hand is fettered. Their hands are fettered, and they are accursed for saying so. No or nay, but both his hands are spread out wide in bounty. He bestoweth his will as he bestows as he will. So, we went kind of left. I don't know where you went, bro, but we went kind of left. The point.
Okay.
Yeah, the point.
I can read Arabic. I don't know if you understand this, but I can read Arabic. So, what that actual verse says is Adahim. Adahim is not dual, it's plural. It's hands. It's not two hands. It's hands.
How many hands does Allah have?
It don't say how many hands. It says hands. It's plural.
So are hands like a human?
No.
So
a lot of animals have hands. Monkey has hands.
Hold on.
Okay.
Do you have hands?
Yeah, I got hands.
Do you have eyes?
Apparently, I do.
Does Allah have eyes?
Allah is all-seeing, all-knowing. But
does the Quran say Allah has eyes?
It doesn't say, are you? Allah is all-seeing. So if you're talking about like human eyes, hold up.
Does the Quran say Allah has eyes?
Not like human eyes, no.
Does the Quran say Allah has eyes?
No. No.
You're lying.
Okay.
You're lying on the Quran. Does the
Show
Quran
me
say Allah
verse.
has hands?
Okay.
Does the Quran say Allah has hands?
Yeah.
But the Quran doesn't say he has eyes.
Show me where.
All right, bro. So let me hear what your take is. So it's definitely all throughout the Quran. So it says when Noah was building the ark, it says build the ark under our eyes and according to our revelation, right? Does it not say that? Does Allah not say build the ark under our eyes?
What's the context of eyes? Is it under our
I'm not asking you the concept. I'm not asking you the interpretation. I'm saying, does the Quran say that?
What's the verse?
Does it say
verse?
You're not a Quranic scholar, brother?
I never said I was, but I want the chapter verse because here's my thing. When it's a debate, you have to provide evidence. So the burden of proof is on you. It's not on me.
Okay, well,
you're making a claim.
Hold on. Let me find it.
Okay.
Like I just found the hands.
No, you said two hands, and I'm telling you in Arabic,
it says
plural,
two
not
hands.
dual.
Did you go to Islam Awakened?
I said
we just established that
Adahim. Yadain is two hands. Hold on. Yadain is two hands in Arabic. Adahim is hands plural. So in Arabic, there's singular, dual, and plural.
I just asked you, were you a greater Islamic scholar translator of Quranic Arabic than these translators? And you said no, right?
You're doing confirmation bias. I could show you other translations where it doesn't say two hands.
Okay, well, it says hands, right?
Yeah, it says hands.
So you know what hands are, right?
Yeah.
So why would Allah need hands to create Adam?
Allah's not in need of anything. Allah does.
Why would Allah have hands to create Adam? Why would Allah use his hands to create Adam?
Okay, so there's a chapter in chapter 12, 112. So this would explain, everything you're asking right now. So if you could read, it's only 4 verses, chapter 112, Ikhlas. And if you read it, it puts everything into context.
Some of these verses are decisive and some are allegorical. And those in whose heart is disease or perversity, they take the part which is allegorical, seeking to mislead and seeking to give it their own interpretation. And
is that chapter 112?
And none knows this interpretation but Allah, right? And those firmly rooted in knowledge, right?
Okay, so I asked you to read a chapter 112.
No, I'm just saying we're talking about interpretation. You're giving it interpretation, right? You saying I'm giving it interpretation. That's why.
No, I know the Arabic, and you don't.
Say that again.
I know the Arabic, and you don't.
Arabic is interpretable. I just gave you the top 57 interpreters that are greater knowledge than you, right?
Nobody says. Are you saying that every of these translators, interpreters said two hands?
I'm saying hands, period. They all say hands.
I said hands too. I agree with you. It says hands.
Okay, so
It
what
never
are
said two
hands?
hands.
What are hands?
Hands are things that could hold and grab something, like what I have here. But it never gave you a precise number. A person that has one arm only has
Okay,
one
so
hand.
scratch two hands. Scratch two hands.
Okay.
I'll retract that. Now he can have 1,000 hands. What are hands?
It's part of your body that can hold and grab something.
A body,
like this right here. You see this?
So you're saying he has a body?
No, I'm not saying that.
You just said it's part of a body.
It's part of a body. If you in general, I'm talking about in general. I'm saying in
what
general.
else are we talking about?
But that's what I'm saying. Read chapter 112. Are you afraid to read chapter 112?
You got it. I've been reading. I'm trying to find verses. Read it. If you got it, read it.
Okay. I read it in English because I don't know even anybody.
Why would you read it in Arabic?
Oh. All right, let me bring the English real quick. All right. Here we go. Say Allah, the one only. Allah, the one that takes care of everything, or the one that's independent or absolute. So say.
So it doesn't say he.
Yeah, he. Qul huwallahu ahad.
So why are you saying the instead of he?
Okay, let me go back. Qul huwallahu ahad. Say he is the one. Allahu
No, why did you say he? Why did you omit he just now?
I didn't omit he. I just said he right now.
This is recorded. I'm gonna play it back.
Play it back. Okay, but I'm telling you, it says he. Huwa is he. Qul, say, huwa, he, Allahu, God, ahad, one. Allahu samad, God or Allah is eternal and absolute. Lam yalid, none is born, he was never born. Walam yulad, he was not begotten, nor does he beget. Lam yalid means that he does not beget. Human beings beget, nor was he born. So human beings are born and they're begotten. Allah is telling you in chapter 112, he does not beget, nor was he born. Lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad, and there's none like him. So if you're comparing a human being to a human being, you're comparing to something that's comparable. Allah is telling you in Surah Al-Ikhlas, in chapter 112, in verse 4, there's none like him. So if you're saying God is human, then you could compare him to another human.
What is a him?
Okay, now let me give you an Arabic lesson because apparently you don't know Arabic. So there is him addressed not in the male or female form as if he has a gender. This is not a gender. This is an honorific title. So if you're talking about authority or power in Arabic, you address it as a him. That's honorific because males in general are more stronger than females. Correct?
This is all your interpretation, right? The book says him, right?
Yes, but you don't understand. You're dealing with Arabic, so you're trying. But is it a male with genitals? When it says in the same chapter, none is born of him, nor was he born. So we human beings are born and we are begotten and we beget. Human beings can't be Allah when Allah says that he's not born nor was he begotten, and or he begets. Excuse me. And the very last verse, there's none like him.
Right.
Human beings are comparable to other human beings.
So do we have hands?
Okay, hands. Yes, we do.
Do we have eyes? Do we have eyes?
We got eyes.
Does Allah have hands?
Hands according to
Does Allah have hands?
Hands according to how Allah describes, yes, but
Does
not like
Allah
human
have
hands.
Eyes? Does Allah have eyes?
Okay, Allah is al-Basir, all seeing, all knowing. Eyes like human eyes, no.
That's sad, bro. Why can't you just answer according to exactly what the Quran says?
No.
Does the Quran say he has eyes?
You're doing confirmation. Hold up, you're doing confirmation bias.
Does the Quran say he has? Does the Quran say he has eyes?
Quran that refutes NOI theology from beginning to end, from A to
Does
Z.
the
The
Quran say
Anawite
he
theology
has
is refuted.
eyes? Does the Quran say that Allah has eyes?
Eyes like human beings? No. You know,
Okay,
Yun or
okay.
Ain or
Well,
Ayun?
listen,
No.
listen. What is the definition of eyes?
Eyes
Let's stop using
in
our own
general,
interpretation. Let's use the dictionary definition, because the Quran was translated into a definable language. Every word in a sentence can be defined. It's not what you want to believe it is.
like
It's
NOY
translated
does.
into
Like
specific
NOY
words that
does.
have definitions.
Okay, so before I get into that, in terms of eye definition, is eyes the same on every single creature? Because snake has eyes, spiders has eyes, animals have eyes, insects have eyes, humans have eyes. Is eyes the same? Because there's some animals with 100 eyes. There's some animal with a single eye.
Well, did your God, did Allah specify how many eyes he has?
No,
Okay, so he didn't say he doesn't have two eyes, right?
he doesn't say. Yeah, in the human sense, no, he doesn't have eyes like a human. Because again, you
That's
have
not
to
what I
read Surah
asked you.
Ikhlas. No, no, no.
Listen.
You trying to dodge this by trying to divert it. It's called a red herring. My issue is
I'm
if
not.
you
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm asking you direct questions that you should be
okay,
able to answer directly
I
as I
did,
ask them.
I did.
Does the Quran say Allah has eyes?
Eyes as human eyes, no, no, no.
You are lying.
Okay,
Does the Quran say Allah has hands?
yes,
Do we have hands?
yes. But what's your point?
Do amphibians have hands?
You talking like frogs?
Do
Oh,
fish have hands? Like what types of animals or creatures or bodies have hands?
I just told you in Surah Ikhlas, but you keep ignoring because again, you're trying to
I'm
do a
asking
red herring.
you. Listen. I'm asking you. It's not a red herring.
It is a red herring.
I don't even know what that means. It's
That's
hands.
your
I'm
fault,
asking
not
you
my
about
fault.
hands. I'm not asking you about fish.
Okay.
So
If
that's
you
why it's a
say
circular argument, because you refuse to answer direct
no,
questions.
you don't even know what that means. A circular argument is
I don't
when
know what
your
hands
premise
mean.
becomes your conclusion. When you say
I don't.
God is,
I'm asking you. Does the Quran say Allah has hands? And we going all around the block, and you're not saying yes when it
I
says
say
yes.
yes. No. I said yes a million times. But you was trying to say that, oh, it's only two hands, and I told you what's the
Because I'm
verse,
making
and I read the
a
verse, and it
point.
doesn't say two hands. It says
Okay, I
Abraham.
said scratch that. Some of those actually that's
Oh, scratch
incorrect.
it
So
now. Okay, scratch it now. But you was claiming, oh, he got two hands. He got two hands. Now
can I
you
see your
able to
face?
scratch it.
Can I see your face? Can we see your face?
Okay.
Oh, you turned it off on purpose?
Now I didn't turn it off.
Wow, my
If
brother.
you exit out the browser, because I was trying to find that verse or that chapter. So if you exit out the browser, it's automatically going to take the what you might call it image off, the camera off.
Okay,
So I'm back though.
so Allah has hands according to you, but not he has some other kind of hands, right?
Hands defined by Allah, only Allah knows what those hands are. Again, and you laughing, but you
You
ignoring
don't
chapter
know.
112. Okay, why are you laughing when you ignoring the whole chapter 112? Every single verse in that chapter, which is only 4 verses, destroys NOI theology. God
Well,
was not begotten, nor was he born, or he begets. Human beings begot and they're born. So that refutes God being a man. And in verse 4, there's none like him. So
right.
human beings are comparable to each other, correct?
No,
No.
that's all relative, right? Because if you're using the Quran
Okay.
blueprint, where it says some verses is decisive and some are allegorical, right? And you giving it your own interpretation when the word clearly says his, clearly says hands, clearly says eyes, but now you're saying is some other kind of eyes or some other kind of hands.
Yep.
But they're hands, right?
Okay. Does God have sons or children or daughters? Does God have sons or daughters?
The bodies absolutely have sons and daughters, but
Answer my question.
no, stop. Let me
Does
finish.
God,
Stop
does
talking.
Allah have sons
Bro.
or daughters?
Stop talking. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
So Allah is the master of the 99 attributes, right? The 99 holy attributes. Allah is a title. Allah means mastery. Mastery is not begotten. You cannot beget mastery, and mastery is not begotten. So if I'm Bruce Lee and I'm a master of Jeet Kune Do or every other kind of martial arts, just because I have a little Jet Li son or a little wherever his daughter's name, they will not inherit. They will not be masters just because they're my children. I'm Allah. My mastery is not begotten, nor does it beget. Each person has to attain and achieve Allah. So none is like him because he's the first of all. You correct. He don't have no mother or father. He's self-created. So this form that we enjoy was created and originated by that first human being who is the originator, Allah.
Okay.
I'm done.
You done?
Yep.
Okay. Now, you just made an interpretation of an interpretation. Yelid means to beget. Yulad means you were born. It has nothing to do with mastery or science, and it has nothing to do with that. That's never in the text of the Quran. Now, if I'm reading the
Nothing that you
Quran,
said is in the text of the Quran.
huh?
But both of us are demonstrating interpretations.
No, we're not. I'm translating the words
And I'm
as they
translating
appear.
fact. Can mastery be begotten?
But
Can mastery be begotten?
begotten is to give birth. Mastery is an acquired skill. You acquire. You don't
Exactly.
give birth to mastery. You
Exactly.
acquire. You develop.
Exactly. You just proved my
Exactly
point.
what?
You just proved my point.
But what point
Allah
was
is
that?
mastery. Allah is mastery. So mastery is not begotten, and nor does mastery beget. What are the 99 attributes?
All of them?
Those are not provable, functionable actions of mastery.
What is the Arabic word for mastery?
The what?
The Arabic word for mastery.
I don't speak Arabic.
Okay. What is the verse or chapter in the Quran, which is a source of knowledge, that mentions that begotten and beget is not an actual childbirth or born or being born, but it's
We're
mastery?
not talking about begot. We're talking about mastery. We're talking about what Allah is. We're not talking about what begot means. We're talking
Okay.
about what Allah is.
Okay, so we're talking about chapter 112 in the Quran, right? The chapter has only 4 verses, but these 4 verses are so powerful that it refutes every single aspect of your theology, because there's none that's comparable. Human beings are comparable. He was not begotten, nor
Why do we
does he
have hands?
beget.
Why do we have hands? Why do we have hands and eyes if we're not comparable? You just compared it and said our eyes and hands is not like him.
What? No, what?
You just compared our eyes and hands to his eyes and hands. That
I
means
can't.
we're alike. There's alike. They're both called
That's proving
hands
my
and
point.
eyes.
Okay, excuse me. That's just proving my point. You can't compare human being eyes and hands or body parts to God. You just proved my point, not the other way around.
No, you
I could
proved that
compare a
you
human being, like
proved that
if you
there's
got
no.
twins, hold on, if you got twins,
Mhm.
they're identical in almost in every aspect except their fingerprints. They got the same DNA, so you got the same eyes, face, hands, feet, whatever you want to call them. These are comparable objects, human beings. You can't compare a human being to God. You just proved my point, which I agree with you on this. You can't compare yourself to God.
No, you just did. If we both have hands and we both have eyes, and you said that his hands are something different, that's comparison. That's a comparison.
Okay.
You are comparing our eyes
Okay.
and hands to his. And you have no proof and no definition and no explanation of these so-called mystery eyes and these mystery hands. So you have nothing to prove it by. I have everything to prove it by because I know the definition and the example of eyes and hands. Because if God also knows what a hands and eyes are, he wouldn't intentionally confuse us by using the word eyes and hands if what he has is something else.
Okay, let me go back to chapter 112, verse 4. There's none like unto him. So if I could compare hands and eyes from one human being to another human being, these objects are comparable. If God is telling you in chapter 112, verse 4, that he is non comparable, there's none like him, how can you compare something to him when there's none like him?
And like,
I'm trying to understand. No, I'm serious. I'm trying to understand your point, because to me, I don't understand what you're saying, because it doesn't make sense to me. I'm saying to me, it doesn't make any
right,
sense.
right. When what you're saying makes no sense to me, right? Because
Okay.
we have nature and creation to go by. What you're talking about, you have absolutely no proof for it, right? So I have a whole creation, Allah's creation, full of examples that he created, and you don't. You have an interpretation that's not rooted in nothing in provable nature and provable creation. Where'd you go?
I'm right here. Hello.
Yeah, why you turn the
Okay.
camera off?
Okay. So I'm sorry. Hold up. Sorry. I got an incoming. Well, I'm going to ignore it. Anyway, so in the Quran, it mentions that Muhammad is not the father of any of your men. So what Muhammad is being talked about in the Quran?
That's a whole different subject.
Okay.
What are you asking that for?
No, because I'm trying to make a point. Okay. Let's talk about that later. I'm sorry. I did change the subject. Let's go back to chapter 112, verses 1 through 4.
Right.
Now, if you're saying that begotten and beget is talking about not actual childbirth or being born, but it's talking about mastery, what is the verse in the Quran that explains that, like you just explained that to me?
If
Because
Allah, like I said, our argument is about what Allah is, right?
in a sense, yes,
No,
correct. Yeah,
absolutely. That's the absolute subject of this whole live. What is Allah, right? You saying Allah is not a man that don't have a body. I'm
right.
saying Allah is a man that has body and body parts, of which is eyes and hands, right?
That's your argument.
No, I'm saying is that correct? Is this correct? Did I misrepresent you? Do you say that Allah doesn't have a body and doesn't have body parts?
I don't know what Allah has. I know Allah that, okay, Allah describes,
Then how do you know what he doesn't have if you don't know what he has?
because there's none like unto him. So
So
if God, excuse me, if God is saying there's none like unto him, how do I interpret that from your understanding?
you're interpreting according to your own imagination, because like when you're saying none is like him, you're taking that in an extreme, like in no form or fashion. But if he's telling you he has eyes, and he's telling you he has hands, and he's telling you he has emotions and feelings, that's what human beings have. So we are like him, apparently, because we have eyes and we have hands and we have feelings.
Okay. Does God go to, does God urinate or defecate? Does God actually go to the bathroom?
Of course. Why wouldn't he? Created this form, right? Why
Okay.
would he create this
Okay, wait,
form?
excuse me. You just said that God created this form. So are you saying that God is his own creation?
Of course.
So
What, what
who was the first originator? So why does the Quran talk about the originator? What does originator mean?
originator means the first of creators, the
Okay.
first creator. So if he creates himself, right, or his form, this human form had a beginning, right? Do you agree that this human form had a beginning?
Yeah, with Adam. And Adam wasn't God. Adam
So,
was
so
sent by God.
Adam created his own human form.
No, God created Adam.
Right. So according to the Torah, which we're supposed to believe in, right, he created Adam in his own image, right?
That's the Torah that
So
has
you don't
been.
believe in the Torah?
No.
Then you're a disbeliever. The Quran says we're supposed to believe in the Torah.
The Torah mentions about what the Jews have to do in terms of their laws. Hold up. No.
Does the Quran not say that all Muslims are supposed to believe in the Torah and the gospel and all the prophets and all the books?
All the prophets, yes. All the books that were, hold up. I'm going to explain to you.
Don't explain. Yes or no? Does the Quran say that all Muslims are supposed to believe in all the prophets and all the books? Yes or no?
Yes, it does.
Then why don't you?
Yes, I do. But I'm going to explain because I was about to explain what that means. So there's a concept.
Your interpretation?
No, not interpretation, because it's Arabic. In the Quran, there's nasikh, and mansukh, which means abrogation, the one that abrogates, and the one that's abrogated, which means that God has revealed scriptures that he has replaced, which means that the law, like the Mosaic law, I don't have to observe kosher. I don't have to observe Sabbath.
We're talking about God. We're not talking about food.
Hold up. But if it's in the Torah about Sabbath, I don't have to observe Sabbath.
We're talking about God, not food.
No, but you saying about the books. I'm talking about the books because you said, "Do you believe in the books?"
So
right?
what part?
I believe that
you're saying that there's parts in the Quran, in the Torah, that was abrogated regarding God, the identity of God.
According to the Torah, God was a jealous God. Muslims don't believe that. Muslims,
where does it say that in the Quran? Where does it say in the Quran that
refutes the Bible? If you
where
don't
does it say in
understand
the
with
Quran
Mansukh and Nasikh, the Quran refutes the Bible.
Where in the Quran does it say that he refutes that I'm not disagreeing with you, but where does the Quran say that it refutes that statement that he's not a jealous God? Where does the Quran say that?
What does the Quran mentions about the nature of God? Jealousy is not an attribute. So if there's an attribute of God, the 99 names of Allah are attributes of God, correct?
Does Allah have wrath?
Yes. Intiqam. He does have wrath.
Listen. That means human beings can upset God so much that he will destroy them. He wants to destroy them, and he does destroy them. That's how much human beings upset him, right?
Yes, but what does have to do with being jealous?
Hold on. Just let me land this. So if we upset him to the point where he will destroy us, then he's something like us, right? We're something like him, right? Don't we do that with people that upset us?
God is all love. God is all merciful. God is also wrathful.
Yeah, that's like human beings.
Yeah, like human beings in terms of the emotional part, but God is not emotional. God has attributes. No, listen, God has attributes. You can't.
That's called emotions. If he's wrathful, that means he's angry, right?
But God does not act on emotions. He acts on wisdom and truth and knowledge.
So why does he say wrath all throughout the Quran? And his displeasure?
Because we deserve the wrath. We deserve God's anger.
You're dancing around. I'm saying
I'm not dancing around.
You're saying that he doesn't have negative emotions, and he does have negative emotions that he kills because of.
Attributes, which is different than
attributes. Emotions. I'm talking emotions.
I'm talking about attributes. Okay, attributes versus emotions.
Okay, does the Quran say that his extreme displeasure causes him to chastise and kill people?
I mean, yeah, if you're talking about, as a punishment,
extreme displeasure is not emotions.
It's a state where you're not content with a person's actions.
Extreme displeasure is not emotion. Wrath is not emotions.
Emotion is not wisdom or knowledge. It's a reaction based on a feeling.
A feeling is wrath is a feeling, right?
But are you saying that God don't act on knowledge and wisdom?
That's not what I'm saying. You introducing that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he has emotions. He gets angry and he destroys because he's angry, right?
He destroys. Yes, he does destroy.
Because he's angry, right?
He's angry in a sense that
that's anger. That's human-like. Why is he acting like us? Why is he acting like us?
He's not acting like us because
why is he being like us and we're being like him?
Okay, can you compare your wrath or your happiness or your love to God?
Say that again.
Okay, can your wrath or anger or happiness, is that comparable to God?
Is it comparable to God? Of course it is.
Yes.
Of
How?
course it is.
God said he is the most merciful, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, and the most compassionate. He could take you out of hell and put you into heaven. He could admit you into heaven, into paradise. Can you do that?
You said comparable, comparable. So it could be a far comparison, but it can be compared. That's what comparable means.
Yes, you could compare, but is it
Listen,
equal?
listen. If you're in real estate and you're doing comparables, you're doing comps. One house could be worth $80, another house is worth 800,000 or 8 million. It's called a comp. It's called a comparable. It don't mean that they're anywhere close to each other, but they both exist, so you are able to compare them.
Are human beings with their anger and their wrath and their happiness and their love and their mercy, can you compare one human being to another human being?
I think we going around in circles.
No,
And
no,
circles.
because that brings up to the whole question, because there's none like unto him. If you say that I could compare my, like, first of all, I'm happy and you happy. We could compare happiness. Like, you might be slightly more happy than
That
me, but
wasn't
we could
we
compare it.
talking about, does God have emotions? It was a simple question, and we already answered that. So now let's go to him. We calling him. We're not calling him her, right? We're not calling them it.
Okay.
What
Now
is the
this is
definition of him? What
a
does a
general
person have? What
definition,
does
or
a
when it
person have to
okay.
have to be a him?
Okay. So if you're referring to a general understanding, him as a male, that's general. But God is specific. So in the Quran, if you want to show this is a person of power or authority, or strength or knowledge, you give that person or that entity or that object or that word male attributes, because you remember Arabic is gender based. There's feminine words and there's masculine
Right,
words.
right, right. Why is
Right? It's like
why
Spanish.
is
It's
it?
like Spanish. It's like
Right, right,
Spanish.
right. So it's based on actual genders. It's not, gender
Words don't have male
fluid.
body parts. For
Well,
example, etufaha in Arabic means apple. Etufaha is feminine.
uh-huh.
Is you know what? A piece of paper,
What,
is feminine,
what does
but
the
it doesn't
what is the
have
Torah?
male or female genitalia
What
because
is
it's
the
not.
Torah? Okay, so the Torah is in Hebrew. It's not Arabic. So Arabic is not the end all be all. God revealed his revelations in Aramaic, Arabic, Aramaic, and in Hebrew. What is the Hebrew pronoun for God? What is the
Hebrew pronoun
Torah's pronoun for God?
Elohim.
No, I'm saying it's a he, right? It's a him, right? So Moses, Musa, and Abraham called God a he, right?
Okay, what does Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic all have in common? They're Semitic languages.
You
Okay,
going somewhere else?
no, 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 no. I'm not, because if you're saying that
They're
in the
he, right? So if you follow the Torah, the Torah, like Muslims are supposed to,
no, that's not
then
true.
clearly God, the number one prophets, the leader of the monotheistic faith, which is Abraham, clearly acknowledged God, his God as a he, as a man.
No,
Moses clearly
nope,
acknowledged his God as a he, as a man, right?
no, wrong.
Wrong? You're
He's not a
lying.
man.
You're
He's not a
lying.
man.
I don't care what you think he is. The Torah says he's a man.
Where does the Torah, the gospel, or the Quran says that he is a man? The
Man, knock
word
it
man.
off. Knock
No,
it
no, I
off.
want the word man. Don't give me some interpretation of what
Knock
man
it
is.
off.
And you knock it
When
off, because I'm
Moses,
telling you, where does it say he's a man?
Exodus says the Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name, right? That's the Torah. That's Moses. That's Musa talking directly to his God. Not to mention what the gospel say. Gospel constantly say Father, 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 Father. But we're not even getting on that. We're talking about the Torah that predated the Quran, right?
As I
The
keep
father of
saying,
all three monotheistic faiths, which is Abraham, clearly acknowledges his God as a man, as a he,
do
not a
you
she,
realize?
not a
Okay,
it,
okay.
not a she, as a he in Hebrew. not in Arabic, that you said you got to be stuck on Arabic. No, he said it in Hebrew and Aramaic.
You done?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, do you know that the Quran corrects previous books like the Torah, the Psalms, and the Gospel? Do you understand? This is a Quranic belief, Islamic teaching in the Hadith, in the Quran. That I give you an example, a perfect example of this. In the Bible, it mentions Noah's flood, right? Noah got all the animals in pairs and put them in the ark. So it mentions a flood of the whole earth, right? In the Torah. The Quran, it mentions only a region, which is Noah's people. It didn't say anything about the earth being flooded, because if the earth was flooded, Noah would have to go to the
You're making an
South Pole,
argument
the
about something we're
Antarctica.
not
He would have
talking
to go to
about.
Australia. He would have to go all over the world. So this is an example of how the Quran corrects the Bible.
It's not
Okay.
about the subject of God.
Okay.
You keep going to some minor little branches and leaves. We talking about the most important subject of the whole of all of the books, which is the identity and the description of Allah, the God.
Where does it say in the Quran that God is a man? What verse? What chapter? Where does it say that? I mean, it's a simple question. Where?
The same place that it says that he's not.
He's not what?
You saying that it says that he's not a man. So the same place that it says he's not is where it says he is.
Okay.
So he says he has hands, right? Do horses have hands? Do fish have hands?
They got brains and eyes and lungs. So I could use
We're
that
not
same
saying brain.
argument.
We said
I can use
hands.
the same argument against you. Again, the hands are not like
What
human
other
hands.
creature do you know? Have you seen an alien before? What other creature do you know has
I never
hands?
seen an alien.
So I'm saying, so why would you even be imagining something else when God showed you that the only creatures that have that level of intelligence are human beings? His nature is the one that tells you. You saying that if the Quran don't show you how to fix the internet or how to talk on a StreamYard, then it don't exist. The Quran teaches you every detail about reality.
God is Al Hakim and Al Alim.
Answer the question.
No,
Does
I'm
the
going to answer
Quran
the
tell you
question.
about this StreamYard and YouTube?
I don't understand what you're asking.
I'm saying,
It's
so
God telling me about the
just
stream
because
on
the
YouTube.
details, the so-called details that you're looking for might not be in the Quran, we don't supposed to have brains and critical thinking and be able to prove with nature and with our
Okay.
everyday creation around us that hands means a person.
Early on in the chat, I asked you what will be the source of what God is. Is it NOI theology or is it the
Well,
Quran?
you heard that. Like
If it's if it's the,
we've
hold on,
had. Go ahead.
excuse me. If it's the Quran, then that would be a reference for the whole debate or discussion we're having. If it's based on the theology of the NOI, then it's going to be a back and forth because you can't pinpoint a source. You can only
How
pinpoint
old
a
is the Quran?
belief.
How old is the Quran?
1400 plus years old,
How old is the Torah?
maybe 3000 or more. What's your point?
Right. And the gospel. So the Quran is the
2000.
Johnny come lately book, right?
That
And listen,
refutes
hold on,
and
hold on, hold
corrects
on,
the
hold on,
previous
hold on, hold on,
revelation.
hold on. So the Nation of Islam theology is not based on the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam theology is based on all of the books and on the provable creation, the laws of creation, not our interpretation of this or that. The Quran is only 1400 years old, right? And
Right.
it's full of references and stories and inspirations of the books before it. It is just a verifier of the books before it. The Quran said it's a verifier of the books before it, not a detractor of the books before
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Right?
So
So hold on.
sorry.
So Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, our theology didn't start in 1930. This theology is a verifier of the eternal theology called creation. The real Quran and the real Bible and Torah is the creation. You walk outside and get a blade of grass or a leaf and put it under a microscope, you're going to get way more information than the Quran is going to give you. So the Quran is just a book of principles. The Quran is not a detailed explanation of all things, even though the Quran says it's an explanation of all things. Is that true? Is the Quran an explanation of all things?
In terms of guidance, it is,
Well,
because
in
again,
terms of guidance. So that just
in terms
like
of
you said,
guidance.
okay, so just like you said, when it comes to like, none is like him in terms of this or that. That don't mean across the board universally. So you can't pick and choose when it specifically means this and specifically means that. The Quran don't tell us everything about most things. So why would you restrict yourself to the Quran and be a fool and be blind?
If we are talking about a particular subject matter, like who or what is God, then we have to have a source of what defines God as
So
a
the source
reference.
ain't before the Quran? So you mean the Torah is not a greater, older source than the Quran?
No, it's refuted by the Quran. If you again, the Quran says that it has replaced previous revelations. Why would they? Why would you have a Quran when it's just an extension of what's already
Why
said?
would God reveal something that wasn't true?
It was no. Man, human beings corrupted the Torah and the gospel. It has been corrupted. Okay,
You said,
God is God. Oh, excuse me. God is not a man, nor does he beget, nor was he begotten. The Quran makes that very clear.
no, Quran don't say he's not a man. Stop lying. The
Okay,
Quran
what
does not
chapter
say
says that?
he's
Okay,
not a
what
man.
chapter says that God is a man? I
What,
want the
what chapter
verse.
says he's not a man? I just told you he has hands, he has eyes, he has emotions, right?
Okay, animals have hands and eyes and emotions. A monkey
Okay.
has hands and eyes and emotions. Is God
And
a monkey?
they're like God
Is
in
God?
that aspect.
Whoa, whoa,
If
whoa, whoa,
God
whoa,
has
whoa, whoa,
hands
whoa,
and
whoa, whoa,
monkeys have
what?
hands, then he made monkeys like himself in the area of hands, right?
So are you saying that God is a monkey?
You're saying that God is a
No, no,
monkey.
no. I'm
You're
not. No, no.
saying
I'm
that
asking you. I'm not saying. I'm asking you. Are you saying that God is a monkey?
you
Because
you
a
sound you
monkey has
sound you sound
hands,
childish
eyes,
now, bro.
brains, hearts.
You sound childish. Do monkeys have hands? Yes, right. God made them have hands. So if you saying God, if we say the Quran says God has hands and He made monkeys to have hands, then He must have made monkeys like Him in the subject of hands, right?
I'm
You
not
said
saying that.
hands were part of a body that holds things,
A body part, it can hold things. Yeah.
right? So that's what Allah. That's what hands mean. And you said Allah has hands, right?
But your argument is that
It's
because
reality
God
based.
has hands and eyes
Yeah,
and
my argument
emotions.
is provably reality based.
Hold on. According to what you just said, I'm just going off what you just said. Because
Right.
God has hands, eyes, this and that, and blah blah blah.
That's what the
So
Quran
do
says.
monkeys and apes. Apes have the same exact thing. Apes have
Okay.
so are apes God?
I didn't
This
say apes
question.
was
I'm not.
God. I said apes was like God in the area of hands and eyes, right?
So, but not everything else though. Not everything else. Correct. Only just the hands and eyes aspect of it is like God, right?
Well,
Okay.
I'm going by your logic. If the Quran says he has hands and eyes and feet, it says he has feet, right?
Feet.
The Quran don't say he has a shin or a leg.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Oh, now you want to say, oh, he does. Like, do you think I don't know all these details, bro?
No. I'm not saying, bro. I'm not making any claims.
Why would God have legs, feet, hands, eyes, and feelings? And he's
Why
not
would
like
a
us
why would a chimpanzee have eggs, legs, eyes, and feelings?
because God made them like him in that area, in that aspect.
Oh, in that area. Okay, but is
Yeah,
God all knowing and all seeing?
I believe so.
Are you all knowing and all seeing?
I'm not that wise. I'm not that
But aren't you
knowledgeable.
God? Aren't you God?
I'm a God.
Okay.
So do you know? Okay, let's
Okay.
look at real
All right.
science then. Let's look at real science.
You a God. Okay.
You are made up of cells, right?
Correct.
You might think that you are individual, but you actually made up of billions and trillions of individual cells that share data and that die off, but before they die off, they transfer the data to new cells, and you don't even feel it, right?
True.
So you are actually a whole community. You are a whole world of individual bacteria and cells and atoms and molecules and organs. That's what we are. We are the cells of Allah. We are the body of Allah. I'm not saying that we are the originator, that head, that boss, that chief, most high Allah. We are his body. We are his cells. We are his organs.
Okay.
The human species, the original nation, is the body of the eternal Allah. That's why none is like us. Every other people come from us, but nobody can say where we come from because we don't have no mother and father. The black nation don't have no mother or father. All the other races have mother and father because we're their mother and father. So none is like us.
Okay. So in chapter 112, verse number 1, say he is one. Say God. Qul huwallahu ahad. Say Allah is one. Now you mentioned a God, the God, gods.
Right.
That's not Allah being one, that's Allah being many. So that refutes the whole idea
So what
that
is the
there's many
royal we?
Allahs.
So what is the royal we?
Okay.
If Allah is singular, why does he say we all throughout the Quran?
In the Semitic language, which includes Hebrew and Aramaic,
Right.
and of course Arabic, it's an honorific title. If I'm speaking to you, I said,
But we don't
Assalamu
really mean
alaikum.
we.
Okay, I'm going to explain. Excuse me. If I say to you, Assalamu alaikum, alaikum is plural, but I'm speaking to only one person. Why am I speaking? You know, kum is you all, which means three or more. It's not dual, it's not singular. Because I would say Assalam alaikat, which means only one person. Why do I say Assalam alaikum when I'm speaking to one person? Because the kum is plural, but that's honorific.
Honorific?
Okay.
What is honorific?
If you want to respect a person, you honor
You gotta
them.
call him a we.
Yeah, in the Semitic languages, Arabic, Hebrew. Now, if you have a problem with that, it's your issue. But
That's not
if I
your
say
issue.
Assalamu alaikum, okay, what does Assalamu alaikum means? Peace be upon you. You is kum, not ka or ki, which is singular. Kum is plural, which is three or more. You have dual in Arabic, and you have singular, and you have plural. I say to you, Assalamu alaikum. I don't say Assalamu alaikum or alaiki if you're a female. I said Assalamu alaikum. So why am I addressing you as a plural?
So why
If you have plural,
does Allah use the pronoun I and we? Why don't he just always use we, or why don't he always use I?
because Allah is describing himself the way he wants it. He says he, okay, hold up. He says he, I, and we. So he describes himself in three attributes. He, I, and we.
Right.
So if it's a he, is it he's? Is it a bunch of people?
No,
Or is it
no.
one he? It's one he, right?
I.
If it
No,
says
he
I, is it many eyes or one eye?
no, listen. He says I and he says we. And then
Yo,
there's
he
a
says
third.
he.
Let me finish. The Quran says Allah speaking of himself, he calls himself I. He never calls himself it, and he never calls himself she. He calls himself I, and he calls himself we.
Okay.
Our, us, and I. Right? Why does he know how to make the distinction between I and we?
Okay. Do you know what the Arabic word for it is? It's the same as he. Hua means it. It also means
So
he.
now we blaming it all on Arabic. So we
The
blaming it on
Quran was
Arabic.
revealed in Arabic. So
We're not talking about. That's why I brought up Hebrew. That's why the Arabic is the most Johnny come lately revelation, right? So what was Allah called in Abraham's time?
Yahweh, Elohim.
He was called he, and he was called we, and he was called us. Same argument.
I gave you an example of how I would address you in Arabic. Assalamu alaikum. Why am I addressing you in the plural form? Why? If you're just one man.
Say that again.
If I were to say peace be upon you, I would address you in the plural form. Why would I do that if that's not
your
part of the Arabic
interpretation.
language?
That's your interpretation. So, like I said, you're not a
Interpretation.
scholar. Hold on. You're not an Quranic Arabic scholar. That's why when I started this thing off, we at the 1 hour mark. When I started this thing off, I want all of y'all to go to IslamAwakened.com, and I'm gonna type that in the chat right quick, because I don't want y'all to think that you restricted to my little me or his limited argument, right? I want you to go research this site for yourself, and you're going to see the top 57 world scholar translators of Quranic Arabic into English, and you're going to see what they say. Because me and him can argue around in circles all day long, but the actual scholars that actually are historically renowned is going to tell you exactly what I'm telling you. I just typed it in the chat. IslamAwakened.com. Because I don't speak Arabic, but I speak translator. I know how to speak English. I know how to think and critically think and see, okay, these are the top for the last few hundred years or a couple of hundred years, the top Quranic scholars of Quranic Arabic translated into English. So they scholars of English and scholars of Quranic Arabic. And they say what I'm saying. That's why I can say what I'm saying, because you want to try to accuse me of saying that this is Nation of Islam theology. No, this is Orthodox Islamic scholars of Quranic Arabic translation. Their words say he and we and us and hands and eyes and feet and all of that.
Okay, and the same Quranic translators would consider the NOI as a heresy. Ironically enough, according so if okay,
we're talking about facts. Go to Islam Awakened. Everybody put that in your bookmark, IslamAwakened.com, and you're going to see each verse in the entire Quran is going to have 57 different interpretations, or like how you got a King James Bible, you got a New and Living Bible, you got a such and such Bible. It's like that. They're gonna say different ones, just like he's saying one different. But then you can use your own deductive reasoning and read all 57 and come to your own conclusion. Well, it's basically saying him. It's basically saying he. It's basically saying hand. That's what studiers do. We don't restrict ourselves to the Quran and say we don't need to read nothing else. No, it's the opposite. You need to read everything else. That's why you can't handle this argument, bro, because you're not even reading nothing else.
Okay. So are we obligated as Muslims to follow Sabbath?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay. Because it's in the Torah. It's in the Torah that we have to follow Sabbath. Observe Sabbath. Do you observe Sabbath? It's in the Torah.
We talking about God, bro. Let's stick to the subject.
Okay.
We're talking about the identity of what Allah is. We're not talking about the Sabbath.
Okay. Because you said that we have to follow all the books of God, correct? That's what you said, not me.
Right.
I never said that. So if that
the
is the
Quran
case,
says that. So why don't you say that when the Quran says that?
The Quran, as I mentioned, has replaced the previous revelations.
Don't go there. Does the Quran not say that all Muslims must believe in all the books and
believe, not follow? Believe.
What? So believing is not following?
If I follow the Torah, I have to observe Sabbath, correct?
Listen to what you're saying. This is what the Quran says, right? So this is you sounding real crazy now to me.
No, it's not you crazy because it says believe. It don't say follow. It don't say follow. It says believe.
Hold on. If the Quran says that all Muslims are supposed to believe in
correct,
all of the prophets and all of the books and all the revelations that they brought, how are you gonna claim that you believe in it and you don't follow it?
We're not obligated to follow the Sabbath, although it's in the holy books of the Jews.
Why are you talking about the Sabbath? We talking about God.
Because no. I make a distinction between follow and believe. We believe that this was revealed to the Jews. We believe that as Muslims. To follow is a different thing. I don't. You said to follow the books. I don't follow everything in the Gospel of Torah
I didn't say
because I'm not
follow
obligated to.
everything. I didn't say follow everything.
You
That's the
said
part.
that. Okay.
You just told me you don't even read it.
I never said that. I never said I don't read any other books. I never said that. I never ever said I don't read any other books.
So you
I
read
never
the
said that.
Torah and the Gospel?
From cover to cover, no, I haven't. But I
Yeah,
did read
man,
some
stop
parts of it.
playing, bro. Stop wasting our time, bro. Stop playing with this.
No,
I
no,
read it
no.
all. I read it all, and we read it all. The NOI reads it all constantly. So why would you brag and accuse us about something and you don't even do what you're supposed to be doing?
What is the subject or the prompt of this debate? Who is Allah or what is Allah? Correct.
Absolutely.
And
And what is Allah based on what? Based on your not reading nothing else?
the Quran is the last revelation from God to humanity. So that's why I asked you, what is it based on? Is it based on NOI theology, or if it's based on the Quran? I'm coming from a Quranic perspective
I answered
because
that
I'm Muslim.
already. I already answered that. It's based on all of the prophets and all of the revelations, all the books that they brought. I already answered that. Why you keep on trying to say like this a new thing? You're trying to make the Quran revelation older than the Nation of Islam when I already
It is.
proved that that's not true.
It is.
We're going by the original, the revelations that predate the Quran, and we going by the Quran. We using it all. You not.
And the Quran says what? It replaced the previous revelations.
No, it don't.
It doesn't say that?
No, it
Are
said
you
it's
sure?
a verifier. It said it's a verifier of what came before it.
So what does the Quran say about the flood of Noah?
They don't say nothing about it. What do you mean?
What?
What do you
It
mean?
does talk about it. It does talk about it.
And compared to what?
The Bible mentions a flood of the whole earth. Okay, the Quran refutes that. It only mentions that the people of Noah were flooded.
Okay, it don't go into that detail. The Quran don't go into details.
It does.
All right,
It talks about the people of Noah being flooded and not the whole earth. Because if you read
it don't even
Torah,
mention that.
the whole earth was flooded.
It don't even mention that, bro. The
It
Quran
does.
don't even mention whether it's a city or it's a whole earth.
It doesn't say city. It says the people of Noah, not the whole earth.
Okay,
the people of Noah.
okay. It still don't say that though. So that's good.
It does say that.
That's good logic. So that same logic
It
is
does
the
say
logic
that.
I'm using with you that you don't seem to accept. That's great logic. Why you can't accept me when I'm doing it? That's what I'm saying.
Except what? I'm sorry. I misunderstood you. I apologize. Except what?
Lord help us. All right,
Yeah,
so we're
I
talking
agree with
about
that.
whether Allah is a man or not, right?
Yeah, Allah is not a man. Allah is the creator, not created.
Allah is not a man, but he has hands, right?
Okay. Monkey has hands. Is Allah a monkey?
Okay, does Allah have a body?
I don't know what Allah has. If Allah has a
How can you
body,
say what he don't have? If you don't even know who your God is and what your God is, then how can you not qualified to say nothing, bro?
Allah is beyond human comprehension.
That's
Because
a lie.
again,
That's
Allah is
a lie.
all-knowing, all-seeing.
No, rewind that. You said Allah is beyond all comprehension. That's a lie.
All human
That's
comprehension.
Where
In
does
terms
the
of
Quran
the
say
actual
that?
nature.
Where does the Quran say that?
Okay. Excuse me if you don't see me on camera. Because I got to go out the browser.
I mean, where you going? Talk to me. What you doing?
Hold up. Oh.
You can talk.
Surah Ikhlas. I'm getting back to the 4 verses that refute NOI theology.
Answer my question. What was the question that I just asked you?
Is God beyond human comprehension? Right. If God is not comparable, how can you comprehend what's not comparable?
Oh my God, my brother.
I'm asking you a valid question.
I said, where does the Quran say that Allah is beyond all human comprehension?
If God can't be
Listen
compared
to what I'm saying.
to,
that's okay. No. That's this is you making up interpretation. Where does the Quran say that Allah is beyond all human comprehension?
the nature of Allah is beyond human comprehension, based on the
All right.
Surah Al-Ikhlas, where it says there's none like him.
Where,
So if
that's
there's none like him, how can we compare what's none like him to what?
so if Allah wants to give us the comprehension of him, that's impossible.
No,
If
if
Allah
God
wanted,
wants to, no, if God says, I'm going to give you the comprehension of what I am in my nature, then God would have revealed that. He would have
so he
said,
didn't
okay, I'm going
reveal
to
that
give
to
you,
Adam.
I'm sorry,
He didn't reveal that to Adam.
of his nature,
Yeah,
of who is?
yeah.
No,
Okay, so why did the angels have to submit and bow down and prostrate to Adam after he
because,
made? Hold on, don't let me finish
okay,
this. So according to the Quran, Allah made Adam with his own hands, his own two hands, and then after he made him, he breathed into Adam, and after he breathed into him of his own spirit, his own inspiration, then he commanded the angels to prostrate, to bow down to Adam, not bow down to Allah. He commanded him to shirk. He commanded the angels, according to you, to commit shirk and bow down and prostrate to a God other than Allah. Why would Allah tell the angels, not regular people, the angels to bow down to Adam and prostrate to Adam and obey Adam unless he breathed his own knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and inspiration into Adam? And now Allah was in the person of Adam, which made him worthy of the angels submitting to him and obeying him and prostrating to him. Otherwise, Allah is making us all kafirs, right?
I'm going to answer that question.
That's what I gave it for.
Okay, so, okay. So when God ordered the angels to bow down to Adam, it was an act of obedience to God, not to Adam. Adam was not telling the angels to bow down to me. God was telling the angels
That's not
to
what
bow
I
down
asked.
to Adam.
Okay, so
Correct?
God was commanding the angels to idol worship.
No, not worship, to bow. Bow is not always a
Bow and
worship where you say,
obey,
because,
prostrate, bow and obey is, you're not supposed to do that to nobody else but Allah.
okay. So there's what's called, it's nah, when, excuse me, I'm saying this in Arabic. There's a exception to the rule. Now, when God, I don't know why you're laughing. I mean, it's part of theology. So when God
Who's
ordered the
theology?
angels to bow down to Adam, it was not an act of worship to Adam. It was an act of worship to God, because God ordered the angels to do so. So if Adam says bow down to me, the angels would have been like, I'm not bowing down to you. But when God says, oh, you know what, bow down to Adam, that's coming from God. That's not coming from Adam. Adam is just a creation of God. Again, creation. And the other aspect was God breathed into Adam the soul, ruh in Arabic, the ruh, the soul. We all have souls.
From
So it
himself.
don't mean
From
knowledge and
himself.
wisdom and
Oh,
essence. It
stop,
don't mean
stop,
any of
stop,
that.
stop lying. Okay, stop lying. So
Stop
that wasn't
lying.
that wasn't the end of the verse. Now listen.
Okay.
So he said not only did he breathe into him of his own spirit, his own inspiration, his inspiration, but
Ruh.
he proved, hold on, he proved that he did breathe into him of his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, because he questioned the angels. Now, after I breathed into myself and my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, now angels informed them of the names, if you know. And they said, we don't know
Yeah.
the names. We don't know that information, Allah, but you just breathed into this new character, Adam, and Adam informed them of their names. So,
Okay.
so Allah just proved you wrong, because he literally informed or breathed into Adam of his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's why the angels couldn't answer the question, but Adam could.
Allah taught Adam the names of all things. He taught Adam the names of all things. He,
Okay.
again, I'm going to repeat that.
Okay.
He taught Adam names of all things. So if you teach, that means that you lack knowledge, because you have to acquire knowledge. You have to gain knowledge. You have to be
You
informed of that knowledge.
making a moot argument. The point was, whatever Adam received from Allah, inspiration, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, he received it from Allah. It was superior to the angels, to such degree that he commanded the angels to obey, and he put the heavens and the earth under man. He made all things subservient now to Adam, to man. And he allowed man to wear his name, his holy name.
Okay. Did Adam have the knowledge or even power to create something from nothing?
That's not what we argue.
No, because you believe Adam is the law, correct?
That's not what we're arguing.
Okay. I mean,
all of this is based on whether Allah is a man or not. Can a man comprehend Allah? You said nobody can comprehend Allah.
The essence of Allah. I'm not saying.
What are you talking about? What is the essence of Allah? What's the difference between the essence of Allah and some other part?
Okay, I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. And I'm sorry if I was vague, but what I mean by that the very nature of who God is, by every aspect, from beginning to end, from A to Z, we don't know because we don't have the knowledge of Allah. We're still sponges. We have to acquire knowledge. God don't have to acquire knowledge because God is all-knowing. When you're all-knowing, you don't have to learn. You already know. Knowledge is gained.
So Allah is not learning. Allah is not still learning.
How is Allah learning when God knows everything? God is.
Why wasn't all the creation already created before?
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying.
Allah knew all things at all times. Why wasn't this creation always in existence?
A creation has to have a beginning.
Why did it have a beginning? Exactly. You just made my point. He's not the same. He's not all knowing if there had to be a beginning.
So when the Quran that you keep citing with all these 57 translations say God is all knowing, that's not correct.
I'm following your line of belief. You said that God is all knowing.
It's in the Quran. Allah is al-alim. Alim means all knowing.
So all knowing means what? According to you, that's all knowing, right? If he's all knowing, that's like saying what does like mean? What does all knowing mean versus what does like mean? You said none is like him. What does all knowing mean if the creation didn't always exist?
There is not a single entity in this universe other than God himself that knows everything. We all are learning creatures. I'm a learning creature.
Why wouldn't Allah be learning?
God knows. Learning is a process of acquiring knowledge. If you know, you don't have to acquire knowledge because you already have the knowledge.
So how do you prove that you already have the knowledge? So is there a ceiling? Is there a ceiling? Is there a limit or ceiling to growth, to creation?
God doesn't have a process where he has to learn. He already knows. So if God knows the beginning, if God knows the past, the present, and the future, how is he learning? Because that's a process.
If he knows all things, why does he get mad? Why does he get angry?
We earn the wrath of God. It doesn't matter if he knows. So what does God have to do with getting angry?
If he already knew he was going to do it, he wouldn't get mad, right?
God is also love and compassion.
But he gets angry, he wraths, and he destroys, right? So
he also loves and have passion.
You're not answering my question. Why would he get upset and destroy us if he knew all things like that?
God is all knowing. I don't understand your question. If he knows the past, the present, and the future, he knows how he's going to react.
Then he wouldn't get mad. He would not be wrathful if he knew all things.
What does knowledge have to do with acting in a certain way? I don't understand your point.
Because wrath means anger. Anger means you done something that I didn't want you or expect you to do.
No, not expect, because God is all knowing.
Because he created us just to get himself angry. We're just exercising for him to catch himself by surprise and
it's called free will. We have free will. I could sin, I could believe, I could disbelieve.
Free will don't supersede all knowing. If he's all knowing, free will don't mean nothing.
I don't understand your point.
Because, I know you don't.
Because knowledge had nothing to do with human actions. So if God knows what you're going to do, God is going to react the way he wants to react.
Why would he be reacting at all? If he's all knowing, that means he's the one producing the cause and the effect.
If God is love, is that love a reaction?
Listen. he would not need to get upset.
Okay.
Because he caused, he arranged, he was the architect of the cause and the effect. Why would he get upset? Why would he be wrathful and do mass deletions and all of that?
You're making a moot point because God is also loving and mercy. So if God is angry or happy or sad, what does that have to do with knowledge?
Because if he knew,
there's no relationship.
Yes, it is. Because if he knew all that, he wouldn't have to destroy him.
According to who?
According to common sense.
No, not
if
according to common
sense.
He's
all-knowing, then he wouldn't get upset because wouldn't nothing catch him by surprise.
Wouldn't nothing surprise?
Anger is not surprise.
Okay, so if I see my child and he has a diploma, I knew that on this day he was going to get his diploma, and I see him walking down the aisle, I'm going to be happy. I'm not surprised at all because I know that he earned his diploma.
We're talking about anger. What are you talking about? We're talking about anger. If you taught the child something and he know better,
it's a reaction.
You don't expect him to do it, and he does it, then that caught you by surprise.
But God is not caught by surprise. God is all-knowing.
Then why does he get angry?
What does anger have to? Okay, being anger is a reaction. It has nothing to do with being surprised. You're trying to make it work.
All-knowing.
You're putting a condition on.
No, I'm giving you the definition of all-knowing. If he's all-knowing, then nothing catches him by surprise. Nothing is supposed to upset him because he already knows it because he the one caused it.
You putting a condition that does not.
It's not a condition. It's not relevant. The definition of the concept.
If I have a friend that I know that is into bad stuff and I see him do it, I'm not surprised, but I'm angry at him. Right?
I don't know what you just said.
Okay, if you have a person that you see them doing something bad, you're not going to be surprised because you know their lifestyle is like that.
We're not talking about a person. We're talking about the God concept that you keep saying is all-knowing.
But you're trying to say that in order to be angry, you have to be caught by surprise. That's not true. That's
what you can't use that as an example because me and you don't claim to be all-knowing. So we're going to get caught by surprise and upset every day.
You just proved my point. You just said that because we're not all-knowing, we get caught by surprise, but God don't because God is all-knowing.
Okay, well, I'm glad everybody is watching this, and I'm glad we can replay it. I'm glad we can replay it because clearly, you know, if God was all-knowing, it's just like a scientist. If I'm doing a so-called science demonstration, it's not even an experiment because I already know what's going to happen. You saying God don't even experiment. He just does demonstrations for our sake, but he already knows what's going to happen. So there's no way he should get upset if he already knows what's going to happen.
Getting upset, getting happy or whatever, that's your reaction. It has nothing to do with preordained knowledge. Like, okay, I'm surprised that I'm happy. I'm surprised I'm angry.
That so how old are you, bro? How old are you?
I'm 48. And you? How old are you?
I'm 55. And you've been studying Islam for how long?
Since high school. That's 92, 93.
Which is how many years? Like 30?
32, 30. Yeah. 32. Yeah. Why?
Because I'm just astounded, you know, by your thought processes. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. I'm astounded about yours. I mean, it goes both ways.
So I'm constantly presenting, you know, evidence, provable, tangible, reality-based evidence for my arguments, right? For what the Quran say, for what the Quran don't say, for what nature and the laws of nature say, versus what you're presenting. You've presented absolutely no evidence, proof, data, receipts, nothing based on, you know, tangible reality. You're saying that God is unfathomable or non-understandable. He got hands, but he don't got the same kind of hands. He got eyes. He don't got the same kind of eyes. But then you can't tell me what kind of eyes and hands he got. You know what I'm saying? How does that help real people, you know what I'm saying, that have real problems, that have real definable, tangible, you know, bodies and issues and problems?
Good question.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do we relate to something that's a mystery?
It's a good question. There are 2 billion Muslims, and I don't count the NOI as Muslims, of course. Obviously, I don't. And Islam, and a lot of people are converting to Islam. If this is all a mystery and this is problematic, why are so many people converting to Islam, not NOI Islam, which is, I say Islam in quotation marks? Why are so many people converting to Islam where the retention rates are higher than any other religion? If this is a mystery and it's meant to confuse us, and this is a spook, a ghost, and this is a fairy tale, why does Islam have the fastest conversion rate and the NOI do not? I'm just a simple question.
I don't know if there's them shots, like you trying to take shots or something like.
No, I'm
So
asking a question because
are you a
if this is
descendant of
all
slaves?
confusing,
Are you a descendant of slaves?
yeah, yeah, of course.
So what your father, your mother, who was descendant
My
of
mom, I
slaves?
mean, and my dad,
Right. So
yes, sir.
I'm personally, I'm a descendant of slaves. So no Orthodox Muslims or nobody ever came over here and helped us and taught us and raised us, reformed us, united us. None of that. So I don't give 2 cents of what the world of Orthodox Islam or whatever has to say about who I know revived and restored and redeemed me and my descendant of slave brothers and sisters over here.
Okay.
So as far as what the Orthodox Muslim world is doing, they're killing each other. They didn't had a million Muslims die in 100-year war. They in bed with the infidels. They're doing all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? The Nation of
Sad but
Islam
true.
don't got none of. Hold on. The Nation of Islam, the Muslims that you say ain't real Muslims, don't got no bloodshed like that. We don't have no bloodshed, no sellout, whatever. None of that on our record. We don't fight other Muslims. We don't go to blows with other Muslims because they call us fake Muslims and all that stuff that you just doing. We just shine. We just prove. We show and prove our lifestyle. The greatest Black history leaders that you ever had, that you ever saw, are Nation of Islam Muslims. They're not Orthodox Arab Muslims. So I don't care what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? They didn't come over here and give us the knowledge of ourselves and unite us and restore our own to us. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad did that.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and answer that or address that issue. Now, the majority of Black Americans in America, they're not NOI, they're Sunni Muslims. Okay. One.
Okay.
Two, in the 23 years of the Prophet Muhammad's message and mission, he was able to bring the whole of Arabia under Islam, which was unheard of. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Since the 1930s, the NOI, if you look at the Black on Black crime, the out of wedlock births, it has not decreased, it has increased. Gangs has not decreased, it
It
has
hasn't
increased.
increased in the nation.
I'm not talking about the nation, I'm talking about the people that the nation
You
was
can't
sent to.
control
It
the
was a
people.
black man, correct?
Okay, you
So
can't
the nation
control
was
it.
sent.
Hold on. You
Okay.
can't control the people, right? That's why messengers and prophets and then Messiah and Mahdi was even prophesied to come, because the world had been overrun with disbelievers, right?
Right.
That's why there's an Armageddon. That's why there's a jihad. That's why there's a holy war, because the majority of the people are disbelievers, right? Ain't that what the Quran say?
True. That's true.
So what does that have to do with the Nation of
I
Islam?
was making a point. Okay, I'm going to address
No,
that.
you were trying to say that we're not effective, but the Quran tells you that that's going to be the condition of the world. The majority of them are disbelievers. I don't care how powerful the prophet is or how powerful the Messiah is. When he comes, is because the majority of the world has already gone astray.
Right.
And he
At that
comes to
time, without the message being revealed to them.
say that
So,
again.
okay, so at the time the message was being revealed and the spread of rule of Islam was spreading throughout 2/3 of the known world in less than 150 years, you had over 90 years or about 90 years of the NOI. Now, it's the message for the black man and woman, okay? Now, has the condition of the black man and woman since the NOI first appeared in the 1930s, have it improved where there's less out of wedlock births, less crime, less this and less that, or has it increased? Because with the Arabs, when the Prophet Muhammad was sent to Arabia, it was in 23 years the opposite.
Was
The
the
Arabs
was
used to
the,
be the
was the
most
enemy
backwards
that
people on earth. They used to be so
was the enemy
backwards,
that the Prophet
barbaric.
Muhammad was the enemy that the Prophet Muhammad was up against 1400 years ago anywhere closely as wise and powerful as influential, globally influential as this devil that enslaved us for the last 400 years?
The Muslim armies it defeated
Answer the question.
no, it wasn't, because the Muslim armies it defeated two superpowers, the Romans and the
So they had
Persians.
nuclear weapons.
No, nuclear weapons.
They had media. They had global media.
The Persians and the Romans at that time were quote unquote the superpowers.
So my point though is it's not about, if you know the prophecy, like if you study the Torah like you're supposed to, it spoke of a specific number. Do you know what that specific number was?
What, 666?
No, 144,000.
Okay.
Do you know what that number is? What that number represents?
I know that in the Hadith, the 124,000 was the prophets that were sent to all of humanity throughout history, if I'm correct.
Well, yeah. So I'm not talking about the prophets. I'm talking about the people at the time of the appearance of Mahdi, or the appearance of Messiah. At the time of the appearance of Messiah, there would be 144,000 out of all of the people, 7-8 billion people on the planet. Only 144,000 are written or prophesied to be the stars of the faith, the ones that actually accepted, that was 100% converts. Out of 8 billion people, 144,000. So if that's already a 5,000-year-old divine Torah prophecy, so just because the Messiah shows up, is he going to beat that prophecy, or is he going to fulfill the prophecy? Just because people want to choose to reject and disbelieve or whatever, they free to do that, right? Okay. That's why the God said that if you said the people of Noah got destroyed, right, that same story tells you that's why the rainbow symbol was even established, because he promised that he wasn't going to do that again with water. Next time he's going to do it with fire. So he says that the people is going to be just as wild and out of control as they was in the days of Noah, in the days of Lot, Sodom and Gomorrah, in the days of Rome and Babylon, in the days of Egypt, Pharaoh. So why would you be trying to use that false argument or that weak argument like the Nation of Islam ain't effective because people is in wilder condition than they was 90 years ago, when that's exactly what the prophecy said it's going to be?
Okay, I'm going to answer that question. And it's a good thing you asked that, because it does make it where people could do their own research. Okay, so I'm going to answer that. Now, the sign of a real prophet or messenger in this case is the ability to perform miracles, change hearts and minds, change realities, change what's going on. If the condition of a people has not improved after 90 years, then it calls into question the message that was revealed or sent to that people according to a particular belief or religion or whatever you want to call it.
So the people that accept life didn't change and improve for the last 90 years? Hold on. Answer the question. So the people that accept and have accepted through history, all from Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Dr. Khalid, Wardeen Muhammad, the people that accepted life didn't improve and they didn't become the stars and the leaders of our nation?
Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X, they left the NOI and became Orthodox Muslims.
Okay, and what did they accomplish? Listen. What did they accomplish? Let's talk about that. What did they accomplish once they left?
What do you mean?
They're not known for nothing that they did after they left.
Well, Muhammad, what he did was he founded a group that followed the teachers of he called it Al-Islam or
What did they accomplish? What did they accomplish?
They allowed people. I mean, they made people Muslim. I don't understand.
What did they accomplish? We clearly have the accomplishments of the Nation of Islam, the most progressive, the most successful.
Yeah.
So the leaders that inspired the whole world. So now, when Muhammad Ali left, what did he accomplish? When Malcolm X left, what did he accomplish? When Wardeen left, what did they accomplish? What did they
Legend
accomplish
status.
greater than when they was with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Legend status.
What is legend status? That's lame as hell. What is legend status?
Lame as hell. Okay.
Yeah, what is legend status?
They are part of the culture in terms of when
What
you
culture?
mention their names. I don't know about
That's from when they was in.
Muhammad.
That's from when they was in the nation.
That's when they also left the nation. When
No, they
Malcolm
didn't. They
X
didn't
went
achieve
to
no legendary status once they left the nation. They was made legends when they was Minister Malcolm X, when they was Minister Muhammad Ali, right? They didn't have no legend status after they left. They didn't do nothing after they left.
okay. So why would they leave if it's the truth?
Well, you asking a whole different argument.
No,
It
I'm
appeared
wondering.
that listen, stop talking. If you it appeared that Honorable Elijah Muhammad died in 1975, right?
Yeah.
So the people didn't join al-Islam. They followed the son of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which was Wardeen, and he went against his own father. He destroyed the nation of Islam. He's the one that took down his father's teachings like the Sumeri in the Holy Quran. So didn't nobody follow him of their own desire, like that's what they wanted to do? They was all heartbroken because they thought that the messenger of Allah, or the Messiah, had died, but he was made to appear as dead. But Allah raised him to himself. He's not dead, but that's what happened to that following. That's why Muhammad Ali left. That's why Wardeen left. That's why Minister Farrakhan even left for a season. Any other question?
He left? Farrakhan left?
I just said he did, right?
I didn't know that. I mean, this is new to me.
He was following Wardeen. He was trying to. He was trying to respect his spiritual father, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and didn't want to cause division. It's in your Quran. It's Aaron, the story of Aaron, where Moses departed to be with his Lord, and while he was away, the Sumeri took footsteps of the messenger and threw him away, and caused the followers to worship idols and some other stuff that they was never worshiping before. And then Moses was angry at Aaron for letting that happen. And he's like, why did you let that happen? Well, because I didn't want to cause division among your people. You remember that story?
I do. So
yeah, that's the Sumerian.
Okay, so the 144,000 people that are chosen. So where does the Quran mention that? Because
or the Hadith. What does the Quran mention the cell phones and YouTube?
We're not talking about technology. We're talking about theology. So, apples and oranges. That's an apple and orange comparison.
So you talking about theology. You understand that the Quran is not the end all be all, right?
Okay. The Hadith, the actual Hadith. Where does the Hadith mention that there's only going to be 144,000 saved people in the Hadith?
Are we going by Hadith?
The Quran or Hadith? Because again,
we're not going by Hadith. Hadith is not Quran. Hadith is not that kind of revelation. That's not direct revelation from God. That's stories. That's sayings, alleged sayings. We're not dealing with Hadith.
The Sunnah is what God told Muhammad how to implement Islam, like how to pray, how to fast, how to do Hajj, how to do all these things. That's detailed in the Hadith. So that's to follow the Prophet Muhammad.
Where's Prophet Muhammad right now?
What do you mean, where's the Prophet Muhammad?
Where is he?
He's buried in Medina. I went there.
Then. So Prophet Muhammad is not alive to tell you whether or not the Hadith was actually what he said or not, right?
Things that he said and did were recorded. Are you going to dispute that?
So what's the difference between the Hadith and the Talmud, the Jewish Talmud? What's the difference?
The Hadith is considered revelation, not from
the Talmud is what they consider that revelation.
Okay, excuse me. The direct words of God are in the Quran.
Thank you. So let's only go by that.
Okay, for the sake of argument, fine. I won't argue that because it's going to be a whole different issue, and I don't want to
Because the
have this
people don't
drug
know.
out.
I already said the people already don't know half of what we're talking about. Now you're talking
Okay.
about hadith or something else.
Okay.
I'm sticking to the Quran because that is the gospel. That's the thing that we both supposed to agree on, right?
Ideally, yes.
Well, you don't even want to acknowledge what they really say. So when I tell you he got hands and eyes, you saying no, it don't.
No, you saying that it's like human hands and eyes. I said, well, monkeys
No,
have
I
hands
didn't
and
even
eyes
say that.
too.
I didn't
Is
even say
God a
that.
monkey?
I said, does he have hands and eyes? And you couldn't even answer the question. It's on tape. I'm gonna play this back.
Yeah.
You can watch
Play
it.
it
Everybody
and
can
clip
watch
it. You know, I want you to have this clipped because it's going to be interesting entertainment. I
it. You're
want
gonna
this
have a
clipped.
clip.
Yeah, no, I want this whole episode to be uploaded, hopefully, and people could ask and will ask you if you say that God is human because hands and eyes and this and that. Monkeys have hands and eyes and feet
Yes.
and horns and brains.
And that's
Is
why I keep
God a
asking
monkey
you.
now?
That's what I keep asking you. What kind of hands do he have? Because
God
hands
knows
are.
best. God
So
knows
you can't.
best.
That's what I'm saying. So why would you keep on saying monkeys when humans is the ones that's known to have hands? Why you keep saying monkeys when
Monkeys have
humans?
hands too.
You just sound real childish. It really
No, you
sounds
sounding
sad.
childish. You sounding ignorant because
It
monkeys have
sounds
hands too.
sad because we know that we're talking about. Can monkeys wear the names of Allah? Can you name a monkey a holy name?
A holy name. You can't name a human being with a holy name.
Yes, you can. Now you don't. You don't. I thought you knew Islam, bro. You said you study Islam for 30-something years. You do not know
Allah is
Islam.
okay. Hold
You do
up.
not know Islam.
Allah is Al Khalq. I would say Abdul Khalq. I would say the slave or servant of Allah. I won't say I'm Al Rahman. I would say
Okay,
Abdul
so
Rahman.
that's my question. So can you give an animal, a monkey, Abdul Halak, Abdul, the name of a holy name? Yes or no?
I mean, I never seen a monkey
Yes
name one.
or
I don't.
no? According to the laws of Islam, can you name an animal with a holy name, even if you put Abdul in the front of it?
There is
Yes
no
or no?
restriction. I ask you. There's no restriction saying that you could name or you cannot name an animal or whatever name like
Wow,
Abdul
y'all heard
Wahab.
that? Say that again. Say that one more time in the camera.
There's no surah, verse, chapter, or hadith that says that you cannot name an animal of this or that name, whether it's a.
So why don't you name your cows and your horses and whatever names of Allah? Why won't you do it?
I don't have a horse
Why
or a
won't
cow.
you do it?
I don't name human beings
Why I didn't ask you that. Why won't you name animals names of Allah? You, Mahdi Ahmad.
because they're not Allah.
So what about the people that wear the names of Allah?
It comes with Abd, which means servant.
We just went through that.
Abdullah.
Okay,
Okay,
so the
Abdullah is
animal
what?
is not
Servant of
Allah.
Allah.
So the animal is not Allah. So why don't you name it Abdul Haq?
I mean, I could.
Why don't you?
I don't have an animal.
Why won't you? So you will?
I don't want pets. I'm in LA. I'm in an apartment complex. I can't have a goat or a cow or. I'm in the city, man. I don't know about you. I don't know if you're in a farm or whatever. I'm in the city, so I can't have animals. I can't have cows and goats and sheep in
So
my
you don't you
apartment.
don't know what your Allah looks like, right?
Nope.
Wow.
Not
Well,
what? Wow. No, I don't know
yeah.
how he looks like.
Why you
He,
keep saying he? Why do you say he's a he?
you want to go back to what we talked about an hour and a half ago?
No,
I mean,
no.
I could.
No,
I could.
stop. So is Allah and it? According to Mahdi Ahmad, is Allah and it? Because Allah says his spirit, right? Allah in the Quran calls his spirit an it, but he calls himself a he. So what do you call Allah? Do you call Allah a it?
No, because it regarding inanimate objects. For
No,
example,
that's
a
a lie.
rock is
No, that's
a
a lie.
rock. A
That's a
rock is not a
lie.
he.
You're
What?
lying now. So the Quran says Allah sent his spirit, right, to Mary, and that spirit was a it. So he sent it to Mary, and it appeared as a well-made man. So is
as
Allah
an
and it?
eminent
Hold on.
object.
Is Allah and it? Is his spirit in it?
Allah is not an it because Allah is animate.
Is his spirit
You know what
animate?
that means?
Is his spirit animate?
Ruh
Is his spirit animate?
is not an object.
Is it
It's
animate?
I don't know what it is. It's not an
Then why are you
object.
talking? If you don't know
No,
what it is,
no,
why are you
no, no, no.
talking?
If you study Islam,
You don't know. Why are you
the
talking if you don't
rabbis
know?
were asked. Hold on, hold on. I want to explain something. This is very good. You asked this question because this is going to destroy your ideology. The
Okay.
rabbis wanted to see if the Prophet Muhammad was a true prophet. They asked him, "Do you know what the ruh is, which is the spirit or the soul?" The Prophet Muhammad says, "I don't know it." And the rabbis understood that that is the correct answer because nobody knows what the ruh is,
Nobody
except
knows.
God.
So what if God decided he wanted to teach somebody? They wouldn't know?
If God decided, I mean, it's a hypothetical. That's
No, it's not that's not a
hypothetical
hypothetical. So does
because it never happened.
hold on, does the Messiah know?
Of what? Of
Oh,
what
come
the
on,
ruh
bro.
is? Ruh? No, he don't.
Why don't the Messiah know? And he been directly with Allah, according to y'all belief, for the last 2,000 years. So he's been with Allah for 2,000 years, and he gonna come back, and he don't know that answer.
So you're saying that in order for him to be with Allah, he has to teach him what the ruh is, or the soul, the spirit is. Is that what
How
you're
would
saying?
he? How? Okay, listen to your logic. You believe that the Messiah has been with Allah for 2,000 years. Wherever Allah is, he has been with Allah for 2,000 years. Is that what you believe?
Yeah,
So wherever
but
he is, it ain't been among us. He's wherever Allah is. So in 2,000 years, Allah couldn't teach him or tell him whatever you just said, whether his spirit was it animate or inanimate.
you put in a condition. You saying that he couldn't teach.
Absolutely, I'm
What
putting
if
it in
he
this.
won't teach?
Say what?
What if he says, or what if God won't teach what the spirit is?
Why wouldn't he?
Ask ask Allah. They don't ask me. I don't
Well,
know.
then you're not qualified to speak for him if you don't know,
But that's what you're doing. You said
because I'm
Allah has to do
qualified.
this.
I'm
Allah has to do
qualified.
that.
I'm
Allah
qualified because
don't have to do nothing.
I'm presenting his creation. His creation qualifies you. When you acknowledge and use his creation, then you're using his aim and his mind. You're in his mind when you study in his creation, not when you freestyling with some book with some paper pages that you only reading that and don't understand what you're reading.
Okay.
I'm reading the creation. I'm reading the daily creation, the laws of nature, the laws of creation. You reading a book that you don't even understand.
So he does not beget, nor was he begotten. I cannot take that as is. I have to understand it as something else, correct?
I don't know what you're talking about. I
What
clearly this video
God does not
clearly
beget, nor
explained
was he
what
begotten.
I clearly explained that already.
There was no answer. It's just an
Oh, don't
explanation, but
lie.
an answer.
You keep lying, man. That's not a good look, bro. That's not a good look, man.
Okay, he does not beget, nor was he begotten. This is
What was
clear words. You want me to interpret it as something else because it
you don't
fits
gotta interpret
your
it.
ideology. This is called
You don't have to
confirmation bias.
interpret it.
This is confirmation bias. You want to interpret it where it agrees with your ideology or your beliefs and not agree with what is said. If it says that he does not beget, nor was he begotten, the, these
I
are
just
clear
said I
words.
just said he has hands, and you just said he has hands, and you don't want to agree with the hands mean hands and eyes mean eyes. So you the
You
one
said
that
he had two
you're
hands, and
going
when the
by
Arabic,
your
it
own
didn't say two
confirmation
hands.
bias, right? You're using your own whatever against yourself.
Okay. I
Hands mean
asked you,
hands. I'm speaking kindergarten level words where everybody can understand it. You saying some abracadabra mystery magic nobody can understand, nobody comprehend. It's some
I'm
God I
speaking
don't know,
English.
and you literally
It's
said
not my
I
fault you
don't
don't
know.
understand it.
You literally saying I don't know. You arguing without knowledge. That's
Okay.
fool. That's a fool.
What he does not beget, nor was he begotten means in your understanding?
I already said that. You
Okay.
don't remember what I said?
No, I do. But I'm
So why are
saying
you
that
asking me again?
because what I'm showing to the audience is that you're
Oh,
injecting an interpretation to fit
no,
with your
it's not an
theology. That's
interpretation.
called confirmation bias.
No, it's not interpretation because you agreed with it. So I literally asked. That's why I
Agree
asked
with
you
what?
questions. I asked you questions first. I said, "Is Allah a title? Allah is mastery, right? Allah is master of the 99 holy attributes, right? And you agree with that, right?"
There's 99 attributes
Oh
that
Lord.
describe Allah.
Oh
Okay.
Lord.
Yeah,
You didn't
Lord,
agree with
exactly.
that?
Who's Lord?
Yeah, so you just childish. You just trying to find something to argue with because I'm hitting you with facts that you can't
No, you're not.
handle. Allah is the master. What makes Allah Allah is because He's the master. He's not just a practicer. He's just not somebody that displays some percentage of these attributes. He's the master of those attributes. Allah is a title that means mastery. So mastery is not begotten, nor does mastery beget. Human beings, of course, your body is going to beget, but the mastery ain't going to beget. I gave you the Bruce Lee example. Bruce Lee
Okay.
was a master, but Brandon Lee wasn't no master just because Bruce Lee was a master.
Okay.
So don't stop me and say, okay, you made me repeat it. So hush up and let me repeat it since you said the audience didn't hear. Allah means master, mastery. Allah is a function, Allah is a title, right? The name of this particular master today is Master Fard Muhammad. That's the teacher of Messiah.
Are you done?
Well, I'm not done. So don't disrespect me or I'll just let you go. You know what I'm saying? Because you're acting dumb like you didn't know what I'm talking about. Then when I start detailing it again, now you want to interrupt me. So that's just childish.
Allah means
So
God. It don't
master,
mean master.
the Quran says master
No, it
of the
doesn't.
day of requital. Master.
Maliki Yawmiddin, not Allah Yawmiddin. Allah means
Master.
the God. Malik means the king or the master of
What
the
is it?
day of judgment.
Exactly. Stop cutting me off, bro.
Go ahead.
You just confirming what I said, but you apparently the
No,
demons
you
is
said Allah
screaming
means
or
master.
burning
It don't mean
because
master. It means God.
Maliki Yom Medin, master of the day of judgment in which we now live, master, not participant, not witness, not scribe, master. So mastery, just like any master that you know of, cannot beget their mastery to their offspring or to no friends or to nobody else. You have to set up a path and teach them how to go through exactly what you had to go through to achieve and attain mastery, attain godhood, attain angelhood. Those are ranks. Those are grade levels and ranks of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, force, and power. Allah is a rank. Allah is the most high, supreme rank that any being can achieve through, like I said, through discipline and study and um, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Okay. Allah means God. It don't mean master. Malik Yawmiddin.
What is
Malik is
God?
a different word.
What is God? What is the definition of God?
I mean, what do you
What does
mean
the God
definition?
do?
God is the creator. He has no beginning. He has no end. He's the originator. He does not beget, nor was he begotten, as the Quran says. We are begotten and we beget. We have a beginning. We have an end. We don't create nothing, something from nothing. And Allah does not mean master. It means the God. Ilah, God, Allah, right? So if you're talking about Malik Yawmiddin, Malik and Allah are not the same words. Because
Right?
you just said Allah is mastery and begotten and
That's
hidden
that's
begot
an
mastery.
attribute. That's the attribute. Mastery is the attribute of all of them at the same time. So 99 attributes and being the master of them all at the same time is a whole is the capstone of it all. So that's Allah. Allah is the master of all of those attributes simultaneously.
Okay, but what does that have to do with begotten or beget?
I just told you, and I'm not going back over that. So if you don't
Okay.
understand it, you just don't understand it. But I said it 2 or 3 times, so the people watching will be able to study it. So
Yes,
you
sir.
ain't giving us nothing. I'm giving detailed concepts. I'm giving you the concept of something that human beings can achieve while they live. You ain't giving us nothing but fairy tale stories and
That's why so
clearly
many people
saying that you
from
don't
the
understand
NOI
and you don't
convert to
believe.
Sunni
You're
Islam,
clearly telling us you
which is,
don't know what a lie is and you don't even know how to comprehend them. So how can you claim to represent them?
I don't know the essence of Allah, just like I don't know the essence of everything else in this earth.
I'm
I
not
can't
talking
know.
about the
I don't
essence.
know
You don't
everything.
even know the surface. You don't even know the surface. I asked you
I
what he
probably
looked like.
don't.
Yeah. So why are you claiming that you represent him? How can you tell me what he ain't if you can't tell me what he is?
If he did detailed what he is or isn't, then I would go off of that, which I
He
am.
did detail himself. He said he got 2 eyes and 2 hands.
No, it don't. It don't say that.
You don't
I
say that?
asked you where it says that, and it says
I said
hands. It don't say 2 hands and 2 eyes.
it do say 2 hands and 2 eyes.
It don't.
Okay, you're lying, and I'm gonna post up the links. So
Please.
yeah, and then you just gonna be lying. But this is good. This is good that everybody gets to see this
Yeah.
because I'm a little t-shirt dude. I'm a little rap dude from LA. You a Muslim scholar, right? You a real Muslim, right? Because you
I
said
never
we not
said
real
that.
Muslims.
I never
You
said
said
that
we,
I
you
was a
said we
scholar.
not real Muslims, right?
No, you're not.
You didn't say that. Now you lying
No, I
again.
said that. You're not
Yeah.
Muslim.
Okay. Did I accuse you of not being a real Muslim?
If you did, I wouldn't care less if you did.
That's not the question. Answer my question. Did I accuse you of not being a real Muslim?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
You're
I'm
you're,
being
you're
real.
a
I don't
whole
know.
liar, bro. That's sad. You sad, man. So
Okay.
you don't remember me in this conversation. You don't remember whether I would have accused you of being a fake Muslim or not a real Muslim.
I never heard that. No, I haven't heard that at all.
But you heard you call me one, right?
Yeah,
All right, there you go. Thank you for almost being honest.
I'm
But
honest.
that's why I'm gonna post up these verses that you say don't exist, just so all of us can see and use this as a teachable moment. Because I'm just a little rapper. I'm just a little bald head street rapper dude. I don't claim no Arabs. Arabs ain't my leader. I don't believe in no Arabs. Arabs ain't did nothing for my people.
I don't
Only
either.
one Arab did something for my people, and that was the teacher of Elijah Muhammad, which is Master Fard Muhammad, the finder and the founder of the Nation of Islam in North America. That's the only one. And y'all reject him. Y'all say he don't exist. But he sure produced something that do exist. He sure produced some students you can't handle.
Okay. In 90 years, what have they accomplished?
You talking to the accomplishment. You over here on my live. I'm not on yours. I must have accomplished something. I got your attention.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm on your live.
That's
You're
just
right.
me.
So
I ain't talking about the nation. You know what the nation accomplished. You heard of the, you heard of all the black leaders that you admire, that you try to claim once they left that didn't do nothing. They was great when they was with the nation. You heard of the Million Man March, 2 million men. You heard of the most historic things that ever happened in history. You heard of the Godfather inspiration of hip hop. Nation of Islam is the root, the culture of hip hop. You ain't heard of that, huh?
yes, I heard
Yeah.
all the
Well,
above.
that's some of the accomplishments. Where's your accomplishments?
Me?
Your organization. What if your
I don't
organization
have
did?
one. I'm Muslim. I don't have a
What
group
is,
I
what is
follow.
your organization, whatever Muslim you are, have they done for the descendants of slaves that nobody else cared about within the last 90 years?
Being guided to the truth is the best gift that the Creator could give to a human being. That's why the majority of Black people in America are Orthodox Sunni Muslims and not NOI.
Okay, are they killing each other and selling drugs and all that?
In some spots, yes, they are.
Are
Unfortunately,
any Nation of Islam ones doing that you know about?
I don't know. I'm honestly, I don't
You
know, so
don't
I can't.
know.
I can't say.
Yeah, you can't say because it don't exist. So which ones is better?
In terms of that behavior, I could say anybody that ain't engaging in these crimes are better. But you're saying the whole group. Most Muslims
I'm saying
don't.
the whole group. You goddamn right. The whole group. So I can
Most
say the whole.
Muslims
I can
don't
say the whole
don't
group. Why you can't say the whole group?
because I can't because it's not true.
Because they doing that and we not.
there's so many Muslims, it's hard to really contain. If you
Now
have
it's
a
so
few
many
thousand
Muslims.
people compared to a few
Now
million,
it's so many Muslims. When it fits your argument, it's good because there's so many Muslims. But when I check you on what them so many Muslims is doing, now it's too many Muslims. I can't tell.
how many people are currently enrolled or part of the NOI
I don't
right
know.
now?
I don't know. I just
A
know
few
that I
thousand?
know the effect. I know the effect that it has on the world in our society. I know the effect that the Nation of Islam has on Black consciousness, has on artists, entertainers, has on hip hop, has on Black unity, Black love, knowledge of self. We wouldn't even be having this conversation if it wasn't for the Nation of Islam. That's who popularized Black people of America even having Muslim names. Your name, MAHDI, AHMAD, you got that from the Nation of Islam.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. Who you get it from?
And my mom and my dad.
Where they get it from?
My mom is a Muslim from birth. My dad was a convert.
Yeah,
To
where they get it from?
what do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean, boy?
What do you mean? I don't know why you trying
Terrible.
to talk like that. I'm saying my
Terrible.
mom was born a Muslim. Okay,
So are they from the
I'm
Middle
half
East?
black and half. Hold on. I'm half black,
Are your
half
parents from
Iranian.
the Middle East? Are they from Africa or the Middle East?
My mother is from Iran. My dad is from Baltimore, Maryland.
So
Okay.
why? Okay. So you saying that you're named after your Muslim because of your mother, your Iranian mother?
Right. And my dad did convert.
To what?
Islam.
So I mean, to what? To Shia Islam?
Shia Islam. That is correct. That is correct.
Right.
I'm not Shia
Are you
though.
Shia?
I'm
Are you
Sunni.
Shia? Or are you Sunni?
I'm Sunni because I was able to
I
think.
ain't even gonna go there, bro. I ain't even gonna go there with you.
I'm not saying anything
Ah,
about that. I
huh?
know it's like gang banging, Sunnis and Shias are killing each other. I know
No, you
that.
just
I'm not
proved my
stupid.
point. You just proved my point of why y'all ain't qualified to lead us because we don't have those issues. We don't have those set tripping issues in Islam. Not in our Islam. But you said we're not real Muslim. But y'all Shia and Muslim, Sunni, Sufi, Hanafi, Hanbali, all of that, and shedding each
Maliki,
other's
yeah.
blood because of it.
Right, but
We
can you
don't
just
got that history. So why are we not real Muslims and y'all are?
because you don't believe in the theology of Islam. You believe that there's a messenger after the Prophet Muhammad. You believe that God is
Absolutely.
human. God is not the
Absolutely.
creator. So your whole ideology, theology, contradicts Islam from beginning to end. That's why we don't consider you a Muslim.
Oh, you ain't got to consider me a Muslim, and it don't contradict. That's a flat out, bold faced lie, right? We actually live it so much that it shames you. We actually live it and prove it. That's why our saying is show and prove, not believe, blind believe, get ghost fairy tale stories. Is show and prove. A wise person is not going to believe nothing I say on face value. I'm going to
That's
give you the principles, the data, the receipts, the natural example, but you're going to give them ghost stories. You're going to
that's
give
why the
them ghost
majority
stories,
of Black
and then
Americans
call
are
them
Sunni
names if they
Muslims.
don't believe your ghost stories.
The majority of Black Americans or Sunni Muslims are not NOI.
I don't care what the majority is. What does that mean? The majority of the people
Because
on the planet.
you had 90 years, to change the black man's
How many years did
condition.
Noah have? Ouch. How many years was Noah preaching to his own people? Ouch.
But it never got worse. So okay, hold on, hold
It
on.
never got
I'm glad you
worse.
asked that question. That's a good question. That's a very good
No,
question.
no, no. You said
The
it never got
condition
worse.
never got worse. The black man's condition, more out of wedlock births, crime,
How did it
drugs,
never get worse if God destroyed them
thottery.
all? How did they never get worse if God destroyed them all? You ain't making no sense.
Okay.
God didn't destroy all of us, so it must not be that bad yet,
Noah
right?
was sent to his people for hundreds of years. He preached to them. They ignored him. He built an ark, so on and so
Why
forth.
didn't their condition get better? Why did they get worse to the degree that God had to wipe
No, no,
them
they
all
never
out?
got worse because he got a lot of people joined it. So
How
if
did
you,
it never get worse? You lying. You don't even know what you're
I'm not
talking about.
lying. Are you lying?
You're lying. Like you don't even know. It's sad that you don't even know what you're talking about. But I'm glad you got on here with me because we know that the story of Noah, he didn't have no masses. He had his own family. That whole ark was just his own family and a few followers. You're a liar. You're actually lying on a lie in the Quran. That's crazy to me, man.
Okay, okay. So did the condition of the black man get any better in the past 90
I
years
don't
overall?
care. That don't have nothing to do with the
Okay.
prophet.
So
That don't
why
have
did the
nothing to do
condition
with
of
him.
the Arabs got better in 23 years when the whole Arabia became Muslim? In
Okay, well
23 years, the whole
that's
Arabia.
1,400 years ago. That they wasn't slaves for
No,
400
was
years.
older than that.
No, I don't care what happened 1,400 years ago. What happens today?
Okay.
So our condition of the Nation of Islam is much more united, much more peaceful, much more wise, much more healthy than the Arab following Muslims like yourself that say that we're not real Muslims. Y'all fighting each other. Y'all
Okay.
fighting each other.
Is the Amish the truth? Are the
I don't know.
Amish the truth?
I
They
don't know what you're
united.
talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
The Amish people, are they the truth because
I
they
don't
are
know. I don't know
united?
nothing about the Amish people. I don't know what you're talking
Okay.
about.
Okay. Because if I go off of your logic, because you guys united and blah, 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 then you must be on what's right. The Amish, which I don't believe is the truth, they're a small group of people. They
Who
don't
cares
have
what you do?
infighting.
They care what you believe? It's
What?
not about what you believe, it's about what you can prove. I just laid out the history and track record of the Nation of Islam, which your organization or you don't got nowhere close to the accomplishments of, nowhere close to no leaders representing or standing out representing your organization.
Okay. So you're
So
talking about
you
people
keep
and
on
not.
talking about what the Nation of Islam ain't doing or how many people ain't following. That's great. That's cool. The ark was only a certain amount of cubits by a certain amount of cubits, right?
Yeah.
Why God didn't say make a whole big statewide, state large ark? Why God didn't tell Noah that?
Noah's people, not the whole earth. But okay. Okay. So hopefully people could view this whole live and they could do their own research
Oh yeah.
on the Quran and have them read chapter 112, verse 1 through 4, and compare that to NOI beliefs.
Right, but why would like I'm gonna give them the details about the NOI beliefs and the NOI under.
Details are
Hold on,
interpretations.
hold on, hold on. Let me
Okay.
finish. Even if it's interpretation, it's going to still be a detailed explanation. You can't even give them a detailed explanation about who and what your God even is. How can you recognize and how can you feel comfortable and safe? How can you relate to a God that is a mystery to you? That says they got hands, but then you got to think they octopus hands or something. You got to think they some other kind of hands. You got eyes, but it don't got no retinas. It don't got no corneas or something. It's some other kind of eyes. Like that's sad, boy. That's very sad to me. But I thank you for showing us that's what you think and that's what you believe. I want my people to be confident in the divinity of themselves. I wanted them to see God in themselves, to see themselves as children of God with the ability to grow into God and understand all things, comprehend all things. All things can be comprehended. Never listen to nobody tell you that God something that you can't never comprehend. That's a scam artist. That's somebody that's trying to deceive you. That's trying to get something out of you. That's trying to keep you below them. Gonna tell you that God is something that you can't know about or you can't understand. That's pure demonic Satanry right there. Everything can be understood, especially if God comes to make himself known to you. If God raises a messenger to make you know and understand him, that reveals to him the secrets of God. That's what the Messiah even is. The Messiah comes to reveal all of them secrets. The mysteries of God should be finished. But you don't read all them other books. You just read that 1,400-year-old book, huh?
I read other books. That's how
You
I
don't read
know.
them?
Okay. So that's is that your closing remarks, or is there
Yeah,
anything else
yeah,
that
I'm
you want to
done.
add?
If you're done, I appreciate you though. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This is very educational. I hope the people, also know that, I believe we both want what's best. I think we both want to be right. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to be right. But my thing is to lay out what's actually provable, not nothing that's not provable. That's why we're so successful, because we go on practical, provable reality, practical applications of what can be shown and proven. And those things that we talked about in the Quran, I'm going to actually list them in this link. I'm going to put the links that shows. It's going to be rough on you, brother, but they're going to see it for themselves. And you're going to be reminded, because obviously you ain't studied up on your Quran. But
okay, so you should know them by their fruits. If many NOI members are converting to Orthodox Sunni Islam, you have to ask yourself why. If the NOI teachers are so truthful, so logical, so clear cut, why are members of the NOI converting to Sunni Orthodox Islam?
you would have to bring those. That's a false argument. That's a false
How's
claim.
a false
Bring those,
argument?
bring them. Get them. Since you claim that you know so many, go get them and bring them to me and get them on the live with me. Will you do that, since you claim that you know so many?
I'm gonna ask around.
No, don't ask around.
What do you
Say,
mean ask?
since
I
you
have
made
to
that
ask.
claim, you publicly made that claim. Now agree that you're gonna find some that you're gonna get on this live with me, so I can question them.
I'm gonna ask around.
But you're gonna falsely claim so many is doing this and so many is doing that.
I want to ask the people that I know if they are interested in becoming part of this live. That's what I'm going to do. Okay.
Right.
Anything else?
No, I want you to say your last words. Gonna give your last words, man. And I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
you for entertaining us and letting us have a teachable moment.
Yes, sir. So my last words are that, the best thing to do is do the research and not be swayed by any ideology or theology. Just read the words and get knowledge from those that have knowledge. And if you're willing to learn, actually go to a mosque, whether you want to go to an NOI building or a Sunni mosque or whatever it is, and ask for information and knowledge. And then discuss it with the people, because I mentioned Surah or chapter 112 in the Quran. The Quran is so powerful that only 4 verses could explain everything and refute everything. So don't take my word for it. Do your own research, come up with your own conclusions based on how you understand them. And may God be with you all, and may God guide you all to the truth. That's my closing words.
Man, I appreciate you. Thank you for
You're welcome. Same
enlightened
here.
discussion. And I would also say the same thing. Is I'm going to literally put the link up, and some highlights on what was said and the reminders of what was said. And I want us to use critical thinking, because several times it's not that I accused of Brother Mahdi of lying, but he was lying. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna put the parts where he was lying. I would wish you would have just said I don't know, but you said something else which was lies. So
No, it's not. It's not
I'm gonna have
lies.
to pinpoint those things, but
That's
what
a
the
lot.
Quran
Hidden lie.
actually says and what the top scholars interpret it to say. So it's not about listening to me. It's not about listening to him. It's about listening to, if we're talking about who the numbers are and who the official interpreters or scholars or whatever are, I want you to see what they interpret the words to mean. Not what the NOI or KAM or Elijah Muhammad or Farrakhan. It ain't about what we interpret these Quran words to mean. It's orthodox Arab Muslim scholar translators, what they interpret the words to say. He and him and our and eyes and hands and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can use your own brains for yourself. But hopefully this make it more exciting or more interesting. Like, I want to hear about what this Muslim stuff is, just because I like that little argument. I like that, I like that beef or whatever. I want to see which one was right. If you're not going to study into this for no other reason other than to see which one of us was right, do it for that. And you're going to get something out of it in the process, because the Quran is real easy to understand. You do not have to know Arabic. Don't never listen to nobody telling you that God's word is restricted to Arabic. Arabic is made to be translated. Every language can be translated into English and translated into your language. Islam is mathematical, it's natural based, it's based on the laws of nature, provable reality. So you don't have to be restricted to know Arabic or Hebrew or Aramaic. It's universal natural concepts. So if somebody is trying to push something on you that's not natural and don't have no proof nowhere in nature, then don't believe it. Whether it's coming from me or whether it's coming from him or anybody else. Find it in nature. Find it in your own nature. Find it in your own creation, your own makeup. So yeah, on that note, man, I appreciate y'all, and we appreciate y'all, and hopefully we can do this again if MAHDI find them NOI members that converted to his Islam. So, but I love this, man. I appreciate y'all, and on that note, peace and blessings.
Peace.